So before we start in on the questions, I want to just ask you to tell the students when you were here at Southern Miss, the years that you were here
Mhm.
as a Golden Eagle.
Okay. I was at USM from 2010 to 2014. Uh, I, started off as a computer science major. To be honest, realized I didn't know anything about computers. Wanted to go into more science, so I decided to go to molecular biology, and then from there, I wanted to keep a lot of the coursework that I did for chemistry. So I decided to change over to a biochem major, and that's where I settled and graduated from.
Okay, great. Yeah, so question one is basically why did you pick chemistry, biochemistry as your major? So you've got a little bit of your computer science, molecular biology, and then the chemistry, biochemistry. What of those three, what really kind of helped solidify your decision to chemistry, biochemistry during that process for you?
Well, honestly, I got into a lot of my, biology classes and realized that wasn't really for me. I felt like once I got into the chemistry coursework, that was more of where I kind of shined. I understood more of the chemistry. I had a more of a, I don't know, structure minded for like organic chemistry and stuff like that. It kind of clicked with me better than, maybe paragraph form. Whereas for the most part, from what I've seen, chemistry is more bullet points, just in the way we teach things have been taught, just, from my experience.
Sure, absolutely. Okay. Um, so when did you start getting involved in undergraduate research?
Oh goodness. Well, first I started off with yourself, Dr. Masterson, through working in your lab for I don't know what was it, 2 or 3 years. Kind of put my foot in the door. Was doing more of just organizing, chemical inventory, cleaning the lab. Familiarizing myself with chemical names and stuff as I did those things. And then eventually I was able to work my way into undergraduate research with yourself. Working underneath your lab really opened up the door for me to do the REU program, the research. What was it?
Research
Undergraduate.
experience for undergraduates, yeah.
Yes, that one.
Okay, so
So,
you were in our REU program, and what year would that have been?
2013, the summer of 2013, I believe.
Okay, yeah. So cool. Um, so how do you feel that your undergraduate research has helped you in the job that you currently have, or has it at all?
I would definitely say it would. It did help me. Uh, you know, we did a lot of, just I kind of felt like I was thrown in whenever I was in the RU program. I kind of felt like I had not had a lot of lab experience for research other than, the coursework, because coursework versus research is to me a little bit different. You actually have this goal that you're trying to achieve that you have to, work towards to try to, dig and find the answer to. Whereas coursework, it's all laid out for you. You know what the answer should be. You know what you're working towards. Whereas research, that's all blind. You go into it looking for it.
Yeah,
Uh,
you were learning stuff as I was learning stuff, weren't you?
right, exactly.
We had
Yeah.
to do the experiments, didn't we?
But that helped me because a lot of the things that I worked with as in the undergraduate research was instrumentation. I was exposed to instrumentation that I've since been working with, whether that be automatic titrators, some GCMS, or just mass spec in general. So just things like that. It really helped expose me and understand or how I keep to say is to get my lab hands, you know?
Yeah, sure, absolutely, fantastic. So, aside from the research piece, how did the undergraduate program here at the University of Southern Mississippi help prepare you for your career that you have now?
Hmm.
And it can be broader than just your chemistry courses.
Right. Well, I definitely would say, well, I feel like exposure to people of different ethnicities and races, because it's something that you see throughout, throughout all of through industry, really. You're going to encounter people that you might not understand uh, their dialect, and that's something that you kind of like being exposed to just the people that are, around chemistry. That really helps as well. You get to understand better because the more you talk with people, the more, you know, you might start to understand someone's dialect, or understand that they're working towards, you know, I guess the same goal as well. But um, I feel like USM really helped me in terms of preparing me for chemistry wise, because like and in fact there are parts that I wish that I had done more of, but organic chemistry was great for me. It helped structurally, you know, seeing structures and understanding steps procedurally, to that you had to go through. Organic chemistry, or sorry, Gen Chem was very helpful as well. Obviously, you get a lot of the titrations and stuff like that, as well as analytical. You get more of the broader general chemistry things that you might encounter, like for myself as a lab tech that I do with on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, great. Can you kind of describe, without giving anything away, kind of your current job, and explain how the education that you've had really has contributed to your success? Obviously, you've been in the company for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You probably had exposure to a variety of different techniques or even positions. So can you describe some of that to our students?
Definitely. So first, I guess I'll start off with my GP experience, my Georgia Pacific experience. I started off as a quality control lab technician, where we would just test final product, more physical testing. So there wasn't as much chemistry there, but there was automation of chemistry. There were some tests that needed basically, for lack of better words, titrations, automated titrations. That was something that I had been exposed to slightly in your lab. And as I moved from a quality lab tech to what we called a main lab tech, which was more wet chemistry, dealt with more wet chemistry. I dealt more with actual, you know, more redox chemistry, more of a lot of titrations in general, to be honest. But stoichiometry was very important as well. Just understanding, you know, the differences in chemicals and seeing how they affect, you know, the final product as well. So,
Okay, great.
but now, you know, I'm in FHR, Flint Hills Resources, and I've worked more like for a day to day. I do more things like I'll dissolve. Honestly, I'll dissolve our product in like organic solvents. So that's one of the things that I'll do, just to see like percent wise. We might test physical properties of additives that might go into the product as well, whether that be like melting point or, you know, just a color as well, just to note a color or a smell. Maybe relate, say, chemical, like a chemical smell. Say if something smells like an amine, you know, if it has that fishy smell, a tertiary amine, right? So just things like that, more physical properties as well.
Okay, well, fantastic. Well, the final question that I have to wrap this up, it would be, if you, knowing what you know now, if you could go back and talk to yourself as a freshman,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of advice would you give a freshman student now about what they might want to be thinking about and focusing on if they were thinking about entering directly into the workforce after graduating with their Bachelor of Science degree from here?
Okay. I would definitely say to broaden your horizons, you know, expose yourself to more chemistries, whether it be inorganic, organic, polymer science even. I work in a job now where polymer science is all we do. I wish I kind of exposed myself to more of that, to understanding more of how things are polymerized, or just the more broad like your coursework is, if you're specifically a chemistry student, the more things you're exposed to and more things you can actually put on your resume and say, hey, even if it was just one titration, I was exposed to this, and I can say that it's something that I've seen before, and that is actually experience. You know, that's not saying that you have to be an expert in it. It's just that you've been exposed to it, and you could potentially do it further down in, you know, in your career.
All right, fantastic. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk with us. The students, I'm sure, are going to enjoy hearing your experience from being a Golden Eagle to now being employed as a lab technician at your place of employment. And so I want to thank you for taking the time today.
Absolutely. Thank you.